Hey, want to pivot here from Tyreek Hill's new quarterback to his old quarterback. So a few minutes ago, top of the hour really, we got word from Adam Schefter, I'm sure, and others, I'm sure, that Connor, the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes have restructured his agreement, giving him 210.6 million between 2023 and 2026, the most money in NFL history over a four-season span. And his compensation for those years is now fully guaranteed. Also, the Chiefs and Mahomes plan to revisit the agreement again after the 2026 season. Furthermore, um, after Joe Burrow's extension, Mahomes had dropped to eighth among quarterbacks in average annual salary at 45 million. With 9 more years remaining on the contract he signed back in 2020, he's now back near the top. So Patrick Mahomes, we all talked about he was underpaid by choice. The Chiefs have rectified that. What they haven't rectified, even though they're 2-0, or excuse me, they're 1-1, they lost to the Lions, I beg your pardon. Even though they beat the Jags, what they have not rectified, and what seems to be still problematic, Connor, is who the hell Patrick Mahomes is throwing to, other than Travis Kelce. What, if anything, did you see from the wide receiver group, or have you seen from the wide receiver group, that leads you to believe that Patrick Mahomes can repeat last year's success sans Tyreek Hill?
What I saw, Michael, is them doing everything they can to figure out who's going to step up. They had 9 players with 2 or more catches in this game. I think 11 players in their offense caught a pass. So everybody's out there. They're trying out everybody on the field, and they're trying to get into rhythm. And I think Jacksonville's defense deserves some credit, but now this is back-to-back weeks of it just not always looking in sync for the Chiefs offense. And that feels so rare to say about an offense with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes. Kelce, when he's full throttle, full go, when that knee is fully right, it's a different story. He's a one-man wrecking crew, but you need a wide receiver to step up here. And I think over time, Rashee Rice is a guy that can finally, can get his footing. They use the second-round pick on him. He's a rookie. He'll play more as the season goes on. They have to be feeling a little better about what they saw from Sky Moore in this game, but I don't know if long-term Sky Moore is going to be a top 2 wide receiver on the field. And something the Chiefs do every single year, or want to do every year, is the second half of the year, they want Jerick McKinnon to be a big part of this pass game, but they don't want to burn him out in the first half of the season because he's a guy throughout his career that always gets banged up. So they have McKinnon waiting in the wings to take on a larger workload in that aspect of the game too. I think they'll be fine. They're just still really in the last phase of their own preseason. I know it seems crazy to say, but that's where they're at.
Lawrence and Connor and Michael, I want y'all to just comment on Mahomes, the Mahomes contract and the Mahomes way of doing business. Obviously, you look at Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in football, but he does it in so many different ways. How could you not reward that as a franchise? He can go out and he can pass for 5,000 yards in the season, be the MVP of the league. You can win a Super Bowl off that. He can give you like 2 good drives during the game, but those will be impactful drives. You can win a game off that. He can play like that. I wonder how you all see this still ascending, still transcendent talent with this huge contract. Lawrence, start with this. Go around the room. I want to hear you guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy too, right? Because we saw the start of a new ascension last season when he lost Tyreek Hill. There was a lot of talk about Tyreek and Patrick Mahomes both, being without each other. What was each person going to do? Well, Patrick Mahomes went out there, won the league MVP, won a Super Bowl and Super Bowl MVP. First time that's been done since '99. That was Kurt Warner. So he had that challenge first, right? And last year they had Juju Smith-Schuster, who led their wide receivers in receiving yards. So now he's in a particular situation where he doesn't even have a Juju Smith-Schuster now. He's got a lot of young guys. And like Connor said, they're still trying to figure out like which one of these young dudes is going to step up because Sky Moore, Rashee Rice, Kadarius Toney played a lot better than he did in week 1. And look, you don't need any of these guys to be Tyreek Hill. You just got to have the production that Juju gave him and give a little more explosiveness than that. But this will be another, thing on Patrick Mahomes' agenda just to be like, hey, I'm finna show you I'm finna show you I'm still that dude. I'm gonna help develop these receivers. So yeah, it's week 2, and it's definitely a slow start for the receiving group. But as the season goes on, you can already see the improvement in just Patrick Mahomes' numbers from week 1 to week 2 against the, kind of the same talent as Jaguars, Lions. So, that'll be what we got to look forward to next.
That's exactly right, Lawrence. I mean, all great quarterbacks are going to go through a transition phase because they just typically play so much longer than these skill guys do. And that's what the Chiefs are kind of entering right now, where we know Mahomes, I know he doesn't make draft decisions, but he was probably very vocal about Rashee Rice. They work out together, and Rice fits his style. He's an acrobat. He's excellent when the play breaks down, coming back to the football. And also with Mahomes as well, the Chiefs have quietly an effective running game. You look at Pacheco yesterday, he averaged almost 6 yards per carry on 12 carries. So defenses are still fearful, extremely fearful of this Chiefs passing game, and they're not going to be able to load up the box, which means you're going to have to default back to the run game, which is effective under Pacheco. And I think when you look at the contract situation, it's amazing how he's carried himself, where he always wants his teammate, that talent, to stay around him, that extra money for the team to be able to get paid. They got the bridge deal done with Chris Jones. We'll see where that lands at the end of the season. They're going to be effective, especially when the cap blows up every single year. I don't think this will change how much the Chiefs operate offseason to offseason.
Yeah, and I'll just say, as far as the contract guys, like, with all due respect to the parties involved in the process, I'm sure it's much more complicated than I'm about to make it out to be. But it feels like a formality. I'm like, hell yeah, you're going to guarantee the next 4 years for Patrick Mahomes. Like, he's in his prime. Like, you're not looking for another quarterback. Like, if anybody could warrant a long-term, almost damn near lifetime contract, it would be a Patrick Mahomes. I'm still mourning the cancellation of winning time. It's Magic Johnson signing a 25-year, $25 million contract. Like, it's good. It sounds big, but he's underpaid. And, it's just, and he's a face of your franchise indefinitely.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.